Welcome to FlowsMatch.
This Chrome extension is essentially a web automation tool that can take control of your browser actions and save the outputs. This tool can be useful for QAs, web testers, anyone who is looking for ways to automate their repetitive tasks.
To demonstrate FlowsMatch in action,
I'm going to load a pre-saved flow which navigates to Wikipedia and retrieves a list of world population, filters it by countries starting with letter U, and records the output into an Excel file. Let's run it. And voila! The flow is now completed and we can download the output Excel file. The file contains the data we intended to retrieve as well as the screenshot of the table area. We can also download and view the execution log. This could be handy to better understand what happens behind the scenes or while debugging challenging automations. Next, let's do a deep dive into actually building this flow. Let's add our first action, go to URL, and input the address we intend to interact with. If you need a quick tip on using a selected action, there is an icon that displays the helpful information. Next, let's add declare output file action. It's pre-populated with the file name, but it can be changed if needed. Another action we need here is hover element. To find actions quicker, we can use the search box. Here we are. This action requires a selector, so let's click Select, and this will take us to the actual URL where we can navigate to the element we would like to select. And when ready, we can press Start Selection button and click on the target element. In this case, we would like to hover over the table header. Notice that you will be prompted to choose between available selection method. I'm going with the primary one in this case. Another action we need is Declare Variable. Let's give it a name, Count, and a default value, 1. We need one more variable called myTable, but this time we will select its value from a web element. We need the content of the table we've seen, so let's click at the Location header. And now we can choose the Capture Whole Table option. Great! Let's get rid of the columns we don't need, leaving only location and population. I would like to capture a screenshot of the table, so let's add the corresponding action. We will need to select our output file, that's where the screenshot will be inserted, as well as the cells range where we want to display it. Next action is very useful. It lets us loop over data. In this case, we need to loop over our myTable variable. And let's apply a filter for locations to start with letter U. Now we can add the looped actions, starting with the Update Excel cell. First, let's select our output target file. Then, since we would like to capture multiple values in their one cells, let's create an expression that represents a dynamic cell address. In the next parameter, we need to select the location variable, which comes from myTable array. We can even apply a different background color if necessary. The next action is almost identical, except for the target range and the value to be inserted. For our loop to function correctly, we will need one more action, setVariable, where we need to increment our count variable by 1. This is done using a simple expression. Our automation flow is now ready to be tested. Let's run it. Success! It took a little less than 5 seconds to complete. Let's verify the output file. And it looks good. Thanks for watching.